अलावा कि विभीषण ने ये कहा कि भैया तुम जो हो उसको जो है तंग तो नहीं कर सकते हो, उसको वो तो नहीं कर सकते हो, मार तो नहीं सकते हो मैसेंजर को। अम्मा सुन रही हो? हनुमान जी को तो मेम कर सकते हैं कर। तो रावण ने कहा अच्छा ठीक है, एक बंदर को सबसे ज्यादा क्या पसंद आता है? उसने कहा उसकी पूंछ, तो पूंछ जला दो। Ravan felt pleased to find, we will show him what we can do. A monkey's treasured possession is his tail, set fire to it and drag him along to the streets of the city so that the people may rejoice. The attendants at once got busy. They took hold of the end of the monkey's tail and patted it with huge quantities of rags. They poured oil over the rags and covered his tail and set it on fire. They then dragged Hanuman through every street, lane, and byway in order to exhibit their triumph. Hanuman welcomed this as it helped him to study the plan of the city. मतलब हनुमान जी में क्या दिमाग था कि जब पूंछ में आग लगाई जा रही थी और वो रावण के सैनिक उनको ले जा रहे थे, तो पूरा का पूरा सिटी सर्वे कर रहे थे। कमाल है। As the fire at the tail raged, men and women and children lined the way and jeered at the monkey. When this news reached Sita, she prayed to the god of fire not to have harm Hanuman. In answer to her prayer, the fire did not scorch Hanuman, although it blazed and roared. मतलब आग तेज से चल रही थी, पर चूंकि सीता जी ने पूजा की थी, इसलिए जो थी पूंछ हनुमान जी को आग नहीं लगी, हालांकि तेजी से वो बढ़ती जाती थी. Suddenly Hanuman shrank himself to the size of a little monkey, so that the ropes around his body slipped down. मतलब वो रोप से किया था ना, तो एकदम छोटे हो गए जैसे एक बंदर होता है. He got out of the bonds, jumped to the top of a tall building. उन्होंने कहा भैया पूरा पूरा शहर देख लिया, पूरी tall building पे देख लिया. Assumed again his huge shape and applied the fire at his tail to the building. और बड़ा अपना चेहरा लेकर के पहुंचे और पूरी जो थी बिल्डिंग में आग लगा ली. ये किया कैसे होगा असलियत में?
पूरी बिल्डिंग में होता है ना, यहाँ पे कहीं आग लगा तो फिर उनके घर में आग लग गई, तो उसी टाइप से लगी. जब रामचंद्र जी आए हैं तो उन्होंने देखा तीर मारा, तो उन्होंने जब लंका है वहाँ मंदोदरी के वो है, समझे, तो इतना नहीं पर कुछ पार्ट जला दी, डूब दिया होगा.
Then he jumped from building top to top, building top, covering the entire city thus,
हाँ, वो
and
तो ऊपर से जल गया होगा.
soon set it completely to flames. The god of wind, who was Hanuman's father, helped the flames to blaze and spread. When Hanuman was satisfied that he had performed his task well, he rested for a moment on the summit of a hill and watched the burning city, and then went and plunged his tail in the ocean in order to put out the fire, at which the waters of the sea hissed and rose to the height of the mountain. The time was come for Ravan to take serious note of the developments. He invoked a council of war. He assembled his ministers, the chiefs of the army, and his brothers who were devoted to him at the council hall and began. Strange things have happened in the city of Lanka. A monkey has devastated our lovely capital. It is an evil spirit, not a mere monkey. Our enemies are active. To this day, no one has entered this island city without our permission. How this monkey managed to enter the city, what the guardian spirit of the city were doing are matters of investigation. भैया घुसा कैसे ये बंदर? बड़ी स्ट्रेंज चीज हो रही है. Ravan made a long oration by which he hoped to gain the support of his counselors without betraying his anxiety. After a lot of preamble, while his counselors muttered words of praise and approval, he came to the point. Apparently, a city needs guarding, and we must consider how well we may exercise our defenses. Let us not forget that this human creature Ram is diabolic strong. He will surely make an attempt to cross the seas and come here. राम तो भैया तगड़ा, ये क्रॉस तो करने की कोशिश करेगा ही करेगा. ठीक है ना? Let him in, we will smash him. It will do him good to try his luck that way, said his commander in chief. तो उनके लोगों ने बोला, कमांडर चीफ ने बोला कि भैया आओ, राम की तो हम धनाई कर देंगे. Your Majesty may leave it to us. Majesty हम पे छोड़ सकते हैं. Another said, I'll fly across the sea and wipe out Ram and his army single handed. एक और ने कहा कि मैं सी के अराउंड क्रॉस करता हूँ और राम को और उनकी फौज को मार देता हूँ. Another said, permit me and a few of our Rakshasas to assume human form. We will fly across the seas and merge in the camp. He gave a long and involved strategy. One of the warriors flourished his iron club in the air and said, this weapon has never been washed, as the blood and flesh of my foes dry on it. Let me go this instant and get a new coat of paint on it with the blood of Ram, Lakshman and his wretched monkey. इस बंदर का राम लक्ष्मण का कोट होना चाहिए. I will destroy all the monkeys in this world. There should be no trace of that species when I'm done with my job. Capping all this was one Rakshas who said, no one should come with me when I go to meet this party. I want to suck this blood and feast on the flesh all by myself. He smacked on his lips. After all these demonstrations of aggressiveness and loyalty, they stood up, raised their arms, and roared aloud, invoking maledictions on their enemy. It was reassuring for Ravan. In order to offset all this enthusiasm, Vibhishan rose to his feet and waved to the assembly to sit down and hear him. My dear brother and king, at the beginning you asked us counselors to speak plainly without varnishing the truth. So I will speak now. Oh, brother, it is good to talk of a fight, but that should come last. After we have tried all other means. सारे means को खत्म करके जब भी वो हैं. We must first get an idea of the strength of our enemy before venturing on an expedition. अपने enemy के strength को पता होना चाहिए before you start fighting with him. Hanuman single-handed has demonstrated what he can do. With an army of similar creatures and Ram's strength added, our kingdom may be wiped out in the twinkling of an eye. मतलब कहीं हमारा राज्य भाष ना खत्म हो जाए. ये तो एक हनुमान आया जिसने इतना तहस नहस किया. अब इसकी तो पूरी फौज आएगी और राम आएगा. हो सकता है हमारा किंगडम ही खत्म हो जाए. तुम सुन रही हो मामा? But before we consider all this, let us examine the primary cause of the troubles. हमारी दिक्कतों का कारण क्या है? What is the provocation from them? वो लोग आए क्यों? It is your wrongful act. What justification had you for abducting Ram's wife and subjecting her to such a suffering? First restore her and set right your own mistake. Thus he spoke beseechingly, respectfully, with his hands folded in a deep bow. There was a roar of protest when he suggested the restoration of Sita. Sita को वापस भेजो. एक roar हुई. Oh no, said the warriors to please Ravan. Our chief is strong enough to do what he pleases. We will fight, we will fight. Raman remained and thought for a moment and said, let us meet again tomorrow and consider our plan of action. At the dawn of the next day, Vibhishan, who was resolved to save his brother if he could, sought a private audience with Ravan. Vibhishan said, I do not want to flatter you. Save yourself while there is still time. कि आप जो है अपना समय तो बता लो. A war seems unnecessary if you restore Sita to Rama. There will be an end of this episode. Ram is not vindictive and he will forgive you. Vindictive नहीं है, forgive कर देगा. Moreover, have you not noticed the potence ever since Sita has set foot on her soil? Our sacrifices are rejected by the god of fire, and you never see a flame rise, even when you pour great quantities of ghee. Snakes and vermin are ghee. Snakes and vermin are everywhere, particularly in places of worship. The gods have deserted us completely. Elephants, horses, and camels are seized with strange maladies. Foxes howl within the city, crows and vultures screech and circle over it all the time. Let us read the signs correctly and learn our lesson. Send Sita away. No talk of giving up Sita. She will yield to me sooner or later. I brought her here because I want her, and that is all there is to it. You are exaggerating everything. You are panicky and frightened. Our enemy is not all that you say. I can smash him. Leave me now. Vibhishan left and immediately crossed over to Rama's camp. सुन रही हो मामा?
हाँ, हम तो सुन रहे हैं.
To reinforce his ego, which seemed to be wobbling, Ravan dressed himself imposingly, perfumed himself, wore resplendent ornaments and armor, drove in a gold chariot through the streets, followed by warriors in battle dress to the accompaniment of trumpets and drums. People lined the streets in vast numbers and cheered him, and that strengthened his feeling of invincibility and grandeur. A vast army of demons stood guard at the assembly hall, which was decorated. Priests chanted holy words. The air was thick with the perfume of incense and flowers. Ravan kept thinking, I have no equals in this or any world. There was a respectful silence. Ravan addressed the assembly. We have no place for cowards. We need have no fear of anyone in this world or any world. You are wonderful warriors assembled here, and you have always consoled me properly in all my affairs, and nothing has gone wrong. No doubt a swollen monkey has come and disturbed us. Such unexpected intrusions are common in this world. We should not let us depress us unduly. That monkey has come because Sita is here. Have I not the right to acquire and keep any woman I want? Who can say I have not? Do you fear in this world is going to be destroyed because of this woman? Whoever thinks so is our worst enemy. She will yield to me sooner or later. She is rather eccentric and I do not want to handle her roughly. She has only asked for time to decide and I have granted it. Perhaps she has a foolish notion that her husband will come to her rescue. Ravan let out a loud laugh at the thought of this and the assembly joined politely. There can be no question of restoring her to her people and asking their pardon. That is unthinkable and an atrocious proposal. We have never known defeat and now I seek your counsel. He paused and felt stimulated when the hall was filled with murmurs of approval. ठीक है हम कल पढ़े तुम सो जाओ
आप शुरू
हम्म
जो छत का दरवाजा देख लो
हाँ देख लेंगे हो जाएगा